This video will present some information about the graph algorithm scene. The scene is split into three main parts: the starting graph and the support area. When entering the graph scene, you will spawn in the starting area with the settings menu in front of you. A blackboard is placed on the right side of the starting area, which is used for informative feedback after user tests. A monitor prefab with some videos are placed on the other side. A portal leading back to the main menu is placed behind the spawning point. The player can freely teleport around in the starting area. The next area is where the graph is generated, and where the player's movement is limited to the nodes only. Behind the graph area is the support area where the pseudocode, list visualization, position manager, and progress tracker is located. The list visualization game object will show the data structure of the algorithm, such as a queue, stack, or priority queue. The position manager will display in which area you are located, or on which node you are standing on top of. It will also display the distance of the current node you are standing on top of as well. The progress tracker will tell you how many steps are remaining of a graph task. If we now take a closer look at the settings menu, you can see the category on the left side called Graph Task with two buttons. These were planned to give the player extra options, such as performing a shortest path task with BFS on an unweighted graph. This were not implemented, hence each algorithm listed can only perform one task each. Next is the algorithm category, where you can choose among the traverse algorithms, breadth first search and depth first search, and the shortest path algorithm, Dijkstra's algorithm. An extra option will display when Dijkstra's algorithm is chosen, whether to find the shortest path from one node to all, or only between two nodes if disabled. This option is currently only available for the demo. The available teaching modes are the same as for the sorting algorithms, namely demo and user test. The speed of the demo can be set in the menu, or during a presentation. The user test has 4 difficulty levels, which gradually becomes harder due to less support given. The support provided for each difficulty in the graph algorithm implementation are the following: beginner, pseudocode with highlighting, list visualization, and direction animation. Intermediate, pseudocode, list visualization, and direction animation. Advanced, pseudocode and direction animation. Examination, none. The optional category got the same optional elements as in the sorting scene: pseudocode step, pseudocode line number, and user test score system. But one extra choice is available for the graph tasks, namely node selection. When enabled, the user can select start and end nodes themselves. When disabled, the application will select the start node as the first node, and if it's a shortest path task, then it will also select the last node as the end node. On the right side of the menu you can choose graph type, which currently has the following graph types: grid, tree, and random pattern. When graph type has been selected, you can choose the size of the graph in the following manner: grid graph, number of rows and columns; tree graph, depth of tree and number of children per node; random graph, number of nodes and edges. Below, you can select whether the graph should be built with undirected or directed edges. And the last switch button can select between 4 types of edge building modes: full no crossing edges, partial, and partial no crossing edges. The menu will disappear, the graph will be generated, and start pillar with a button will spawn, when the ready button is clicked. If node selection is enabled, then the input nodes must be selected first. Selecting nodes can be done by aiming at the node you want to select as start or end node, and then click the trigger button to shoot it with a laser beam. When selected, you will be able to start the graph task by clicking the start button on the start pillar. If node selection was disabled, you will see the input nodes flash white a few times, and you can click the start button right away. When starting a demo device will spawn in front of you. With this device you can adjust the demo speed, pause, and use the step-by-step feature. The graph algorithms only support forward steps for the time being, but the backward step feature is almost completed. But for now it is left out. The demo device is a standalone unit, which you can carry with you. If dropped on the floor it will respawn in front of you and freeze in that position. The buttons on the controller can also be used. The following colors are used for the nodes and edges: blue, yellow, green, cyan, and magenta. Yellow means the node is currently in the data structure, or the yellow animation means the node is the next to be checked. Blue has two different usages. For the demo it will show the current active node. For user tests, the blue color is used in the direction animation support, which means the node is the next to be traversed. Green means the node has been traversed. Cyan is only used when a node in a shortest path has its distance and previous edge updated. Magenta is used to highlight the shortest path between start and end nodes. During a user test in Dijkstra's algorithm, you'll need to relax nodes using the calculator prefab. Relaxing a node is done by first shooting it with the laser pointer, and then filling in the if statement, with the correct distance of the current node plus the edge cost, and then fill in whether this sum is less or greater than the current distance of the node we are relaxing. If the score system is enabled, you will receive a score feedback after the user test, and details of mistakes. Sound effects are also used to create representation systems, such as when a node has been checked or traversed, or an incorrect action has been performed by the user. Sound effects are always enabled, regardless teaching mode or difficulty.